అందరికీ నమస్కారం. హోప్ ఐఎమ్ ఆడిబుల్. ఈరోజు హైదరాబాద్ ఎకనామిక్ ఫోరం మొట్టమొదటి సమావేశం ప్రధానంగా తెలంగాణ రాష్ట్రంలో ప్రత్యేకంగా మరి సాస్ సంస్థకు సంబంధించిన అధినేత అయిన ఈవి రావు గారు, అదేవిధంగా బోవర్ స్కూల్ ఆఫ్ ఆంటర్ప్రినర్షిప్ సంయుక్తంగా నిర్వహిస్తూ ఉన్న హైదరాబాద్ ఎకనామిక్ ఫోరంకి సంబంధించిన ఫస్ట్ మీటింగ్, దీన్ని ఆర్గనైజ్ చేస్తూ ఉన్న వీరందరితో పాటు ఇక్కడ వచ్చేసిన పెద్దలందరికీ హృదయపూర్వకంగా శుభాకాంక్షలు తెలియజేస్తాం. ఈరోజు మనం అందరం కూడా చాలా రోజుల నుంచి వెయిట్ చేస్తూ ఉన్నాం. గ్లోబల్ ఎకనామిక్ ఫోరం, which many people attend, and all the elders who I like to really mention about here, the great fighter who is here amongst us, Mr. Lieutenant General Satish Jua garu, who has given his might, given his strength behind the country to remain one of the greatest soldiers of our country, to keep our country intact and see that, we enjoy these beautiful moments in a very peaceful and quieter way. And I would like to really welcome the Hyderabad Economic Forum. It's quite a pleasure to know a group of people coming together to establish a economic forum, a platform where they would be inviting entrepreneurs. They would be inviting the intellectuals. There, they would be inviting educationalists like Srimati Preeti Reddy Garu, who is a noted educationalist from Malareddy institutions. And joining me over here, Sarvesh Singh, who is the director of the life sciences. And many other entrepreneurs who are here, to name everybody, and all young students who are here who would like to contribute their share of knowledge to bring this city to the next level. And the friends from media who are here to reflect what Hyderabad Economic Forums from tomorrow stands for. Before I begin something, let me start with something that happened a few months ago. I was at BITS Pilani campus for another program. After the event, I stayed back for a while, having an interaction with few of the students. I met two young students who are still pursuing their BTech final year. And I was asking them, what is your next plan? Immediate reaction was, they told that we have a plan to start a company by name Apollo in Dynamics. And I asked them, what do you want to do? Here, they said, we want to build dreams. That dream is a drone. I said, it will be very good for agriculture. And immediately they retorted it back, no sir. I said, is it the drone you are building it for photography? Again, they smiled and said, no sir, your guess is absolutely wrong. And I was immediately trying to relate what I meant for and asked him, for which customers do you deal with? They said that they are going to deal with Indian Army. And I looked at them for a few seconds, the two young boys who have been doing their final year of their graduation, trying to think of a dream, and they made it possible. And today, they are everywhere in the army. Just imagine, the confidence they could able to yield from, the confidence the systems have created in them, the confidence in the family which interested them, and a confidence with the institutions had given them. I paused for the moment, I want to know more, and I went inside their incubation center, and I've seen two young guys and 4 or 5 people working, and I couldn't believe it. Their level of knowledge and how they are pursuing it while they are conceiving the drone technology which is involved in that, while they have an ambition to serve for the Indian Army. And that was not a fancy factory which many people built. And it was not a fancy office over there too. Just a few students, few work benches, and few components all together. I would like to say all the young students who are here, who are all the visionaries who are sitting over here, this story definitely teaches us one thing. The room may be small, but the story you are trying to build, if it is big, that room itself will indicate how deep is your knowledge, how successful you can become as an entrepreneur. And I take this credit. Over the past 70 to 80 years, many people in the Indian history would be telling what India has achieved. And many pessimistic thinkers would be thinking that, India didn't achieve anything what it aspired for. I still think that India is a young country. When you compare with the legacies of US or the European countries or the China, which they have a solid background of a freedom country passing over 400 to 500 years. And here we are in Hyderabad, what we are discussing, what we are trying to build, especially in the Hyderabad Economic Forum, what they are trying to breed the young entrepreneurs to make the successful journeys, what the young Hyderabad Economic Forum are trying to handhold the young entrepreneurs, the young innovators for tomorrow's world, and see that how we can shape ourselves for tomorrow's world. And let me ask you a simple question over here. You know what made nations powerful in 21st century? What made either in 20th century? Many would have spoken about the natural resources, industrial capacity, and the capital. But what makes nation in this century absolutely is different. You know, this century, here how we can explore, how we can meaningfully use these natural resources, how we can empower and build the natural industrial capacity, how we can group the capital. And this century, all the nations are competing for ideas. They are competing for talent. They are competing for innovation. And evidence what we see, I see every day in and day out. When I wake up, when I see few of the English business newspapers, or when I see Telugu vernacular newspapers too, you know what happens every day is a bitter learning for me where I see the innovations taking place at a just speed. If I see innovation taking place right now in Hyderabad, right now, today over here, I see the next moment, Bangalore or Tamil Nadu, or it may be Pune or Mumbai or Delhi, or it may be a small place or a small province in China, or a Silicon Valley innovation always haunts us. So that is a pace of disruption which is taking place right now. And this disruption is also creating opportunities. And I would like to mention that according to OECD report, the world today spends about nearly 4 trillion every year on R&D, research and development. If you see the countries like Israel and South Korea, they're small, very small countries, invest more than 5% of their GDP in R&D. And that few things, what they reflect is very important. What we see, you know, many of the young entrepreneurs over here who believe their innovation, their ideas where they can incubate to make tomorrow's history. Here innovation right now I see it's not a luxury. It is right now a strategic necessity, and India has understood this. And when India a decade ago was ranked 81st in global innovation index, now it has come down to 39th in global innovation index. And the India stands here, and we stand here as the world's third largest ecosystem. Just reflect that it's the fastest growing startup ecosystem which is growing and making us the great innovation economies. This whole journey reflects one thing, a simple fact. Here, we are the nation for innovators. And within India, I will proudly say that Telangana, and especially Hyderabad, are becoming a place where innovation is not just discussed. We are not just discussing. As we are discussing, many people may be viewing and many people may be thinking. As we are discussing, many ideas are incubating, they are created and tested and taken to the world. And if you literally see, And if that sounds, it is like a big claim, I'll say a few examples. Before I embark on AI, how it can reshape and reflect on us, I would like to tell more about Telangana. Why Hyderabad becomes a very important place for tomorrow's entrepreneurs. For them to make their innovation to be reflected in the world. Today, Telangana as such is recognized as the top performer in the Government of India rankings. Through Take Me to Space, I would like to mention that this is a Hyderabad startup which is taking artificial intelligence into space through India's first AI laboratory in orbit, the first of its kind. Somebody was just reflecting SpaceX over there. Maybe in a couple of months, I would like to say, this sort of meetings over there in Seattle, or there in China, or it may be in part of Seoul, there will be truly be showcasing the space stories of our young kids over here who are doing great here. We have the Skyroot Aerospace. We have Dhruva Aerospace over here. They are building satellites and integrated space solutions. And they are building the private rocket place launching stations, which somebody wouldn't have literally thought about it. And everybody would have thought, our destination is Sriharikota, where these people also deploy over there using the latest technologies. And our vision, which goes and imbibes where I share a few ideas with Hyderabad Economic Forum organizers, how we would like to take our Telangana state vision. And when I speak about we have to become the centrifugal of Hyderabad, making it as India's innovation nucleus. And how do we get there? Not only by policy making by policymakers like me or by our Chief Minister, Mr. Revanth Reddy. It is the ecosystem which we have been developing for the past 70 years, which the entrepreneurial journey, either it may be the first generation, the second generation, or the continuing legacy what the generations are trying to shape up to keep them very relevant in the changing scenario. And if we look at all these issues one by one, what we are trying to do is, I would like to mention that where all these things lead us. When I said we are going to become the nucleus of the innovation, if I have spoken all these years, we've been speaking about we have to become the capital or epicenter. We are planning not to look backward. We are not looking to earn a title over here. We are trying to engineer the global technology frontiers for tomorrow. And all the IT guys over here, the entrepreneurs who are here, old IT pitch is absolutely become either redundant or in few occasions it's dead. Right now, we are not just selling the desk space or the back office support. While I was mentioning this to many of our partners who have been there with us and who are